Welcome back to another video from SkiBoatPartsOnline.com. My name is Ron, and today we're going to update you on some of the rigging process that's resuming on our project. It's been a long, hot summer and time to finish this project up. Now we're going to remove the swim platform and recondition it as best we can. We took it outside. We're going to do quite a bit of sanding on this. The boards were extremely weathered, would be the best way to put it. The top surface was quite distorted, I guess you'd call it. Pretty rough looking swim platform. I'm going to use a belt sander with a pretty aggressive belt on there, a 60 grit, and we're going to knock the surface down flat, taking our time, running with the grain. Remember, this is a soft, teak is a soft wood, so it doesn't take much to gouge it, so you have to be careful. Well, there was about 2 hours of sanding, being careful of getting the edges smooth, the top surface flat and smooth again. That was followed up prior to this photo being taken with treatment of our home-brewed teak oil. I'll share that formula with you real quick. We use 50-50 mix of transmission fluid and linseed oil. That's linseed oil and transmission fluid. It's an inexpensive, very effective teak oil. Be careful with the rags when you're finished, when you wipe it on, because linseed oil has a tendency of self-igniting, so you don't want to just wad that rag up and throw it in the trash can when you're done. But this picture was taken probably 2 months after that teak oil was applied. And she still looks really good, nice and red golden type color. We'll probably oil it one more time before it's finished, but this is our swim platform. Moving on to the dash panel, this is the original dash. It is quite faded. Instruments are faded, a good bit of corrosion on the backside, so we're going to remove it, strip it, and replace it. We've got brand new panels being designed for the advanced model as we speak, so stay tuned for those. This is what the dash panel, the fiberglass portion, looks like behind your panel. You can look close on the lower right hand corner where it gets thin. This has been broken. It's been broken for some time, so we're going to take a look at this and do the repair from the back side to strengthen it back up again. Here is the backside view after the repair was made. This was done with some filled resin with milled fibers, and then 3 laminates of an 1808 style fiberglass on the backside, and then smoothed out. I think this was before the final trimming and or sanding was done. Well, here's our original panel that's been removed and stripped. We're going to eliminate the 2 lower 2-inch gauges from the future panels. Originally this housed a clock and the engine hour meter. The new tachometers have an hour meter built into them, and the clock, which is usually a problematic gauge anyway, most people have cell phones or other devices with clocks in them. So we're going to remove those in the future panels. Otherwise, this is ready to go out to be prototyped and new panels made. Here is a look at the first panel that came back from vendor or supplier number 1. They use a laser cutting method. They are not able to cut or engrave the various lettering and text that needs to go on there. They would prefer to use some type of an overlay or a vinyl decal. I rejected that process, so this panel is scrap as far as we're concerned. Vendor number 2 has the panel sample right now. They're doing their version through the traditional engraving process, and then we're going to send it to vendor number 3 for another process that we saw down at the Marine Trade Show here just last week, and I think it's going to look even better yet. So stay tuned for the dash panel updates. Once finished, those will be available on our website. Next, we installed a new 800 gallon per hour automatic bilge pump. Right behind that, if you look close, you'll see that we've mounted the pylon back in the boat using the U-bolts. It's much easier to work with this pylon when the engine is out. 2 of the nuts you can see barely at the top part of the picture. They're facing aft, but the lower U-bolt is facing forward. The nuts are on the forward side, so it's a bit of a reach to get in there and loosen those bolts up and or tighten them when you're replacing it back in there. Here's a look at the new port side combing panel. This is all part of the resto mod that this boat's going through. That's not the original. It's an improved version. The rear section has drop down legs that will blend in with the new rear seat version. The stereo speaker are both installed on the port and starboard side as you see them there. If you look close, you'll see that the throttle and shift, the new shift cables, are already laying in the bilge prior to the engine going in. The throttle has been installed, and on the next video we're going to take a closer look at the new passenger seat configuration and rear seat configuration and how I do those on the resto mod for the advances. Well, that'll conclude part 13, our updates on the Rare Bird project. Part 14 will be coming up right behind this one. I promise it won't take nearly as long to get the next episode out. So thanks again for watching. This is Ron with SkiBoatPartsOnline.com. Thanks for watching.